Thank you so much.
Have a good one. All right. Next up, we've got Stock's Family Farm. I hope that farm has chickens.
Yes, I have probably close to 85 chickens right now.
There you go. That's a farm.
That's a healthy number of chickens. Those aren't rookie numbers right there. Those are good numbers.
All right. So my question actually kind of ties into both of the last ones, and I don't want to sound repetitive, but I've been going to the local Democrat protests in town ever since like June, since like the first No Kings protest. And I'm in a small town on the Oregon coast. I go down there and I just kind of ask them questions and like about their signs and stuff. And I've been spit on, I've been pushed and stuff like that. And I went to the last No Kings protest here, and I hired private security to follow me around, even just in case. But this question is kind of more for Alad, since he's done a lot of the on the street whatever interviews. Based on your own experiences in similar situations, how do you handle those kinds of challenges? And do you find the conversations worthwhile despite the risk? And obviously I'm doing this kind of on my own accord. I could stop at any time, and like is it worth it to go talk to these people? And that's all I'm trying to do, is have conversations.
So there's a couple of things here. Like, first of all, is it sustainable for you? If you continuously cover these types of events in a particular area, you will quickly end up being marked. And at all of these protests now, they don't allow any of the protesters to talk to media that they don't approve of. So you'll see people in these vests, more or less, disallowing people from publicly talking to you. That's something I ran into constantly. The more of a profile that you develop, you'll become a target as a result of that. And then if it gets any more, that's for the most peaceful type protests. If they are more aggressive, then they'll get more physical with you. And they are doing it, freely and like openly. Particularly, I think you said you were in Oregon, particularly in Portland. It feels as though it's open season on reporters over there. Is it worth it? I found a ton of value in it personally. I really enjoyed covering those protests. If you're not there, then, there might not be any other reporters or people keeping an eye on what's going on. But it's just something to be aware of, that the more these people are accustomed to you, that you will be marked and they will make your life at these events more difficult. They're trying to protect their in-group, and they genuinely view you as the antagonist. They think they are heroes fighting against evil, and they think you are that evil that they have to fight against.
Yeah, I just got back from filming the No Kings, the recent one, and I went to two of them in the same day. And yeah, I think it's valuable as far as like content goes, but like you're not having any like really good discussions there. You're just kind of calling out like the hypocrisy and the weirdos that are at these sort of events and how like uneducated they are. Which if you're trying to produce content, that's content. But as far as being dangerous, like I think, and I'm making a joke, but I'm also kind of being serious. The color of my skin kind of protects me a lot at these events.
Brown guy.
Yeah, well, yeah, and they just like they don't want to be that white person that's like, oh, I'm harassing the brown guy, the only brown guy at these protests. But yeah, I got some great content from it. But I've never really had any kind of.
I found the No Kings protesters to be relatively tame compared to most far left protesters. Like, I don't know for each individual protest, but I checked out the No Kings protests here in DC, and it really did seem like it was 80% old people.
Yeah.
This does seem like a catch-all liberal cause type protest. There wasn't any coherent message. The coherent message was anti-Trump. We don't like Trump. What was it about?
That's been the left since Donald Trump was
but
inaugurated
there's
again.
Different themes. Like I went to an anti-ICE protest in Dallas, and that got violent to the point where like rubber bullets were flying in my direction because I was on the side with the protesters interviewing them, and that was majority like Hispanic and Black at that protest. So I think the theme kind of changes depending on the.
Yeah, it also very heavily depends on the setting and I hate to just say vibes of the protest,
Yeah.
like where you're able to pick up. There's something in the air at some of these events where you can tell things are getting more tense and violent,
feel it.
and the crowd is a little bit more rowdy. It depends on where you are, and if you're in a city, and like depending on how many cops are around, things can get violent very quickly. I have a lot of friends who cover these protests, and they mostly stay peaceful. But if you keep going to the same place over and over again, you become demarked and then a target, and then the police also aren't really trying to help you.
No.
Very often. I think it's dangerous, but so long as you're responsible and not looking for trouble, then I don't think trouble will find you.
Have you tried going up to somebody and asking them, why are you gay?
I've asked them a lot of questions, and honestly, like, I'm not trying to be a YouTuber or like a political questioner or like anything like that. Like, I mostly just make videos of my chickens and my pigs and stuff, and like my family. Like, I'm not I don't want any of that fame or anything that sounds like a hassle. I just do it just to see what these people are thinking, and like it ends up being crazy every single time. And like I don't understand why these people are so insane.
It's
It's a mental illness.
yeah, it's either you're with us or against us type attitude out there. So if they sense that you aren't completely on board with everything, then you are a threat to them. You are a Nazi fascist helping prop up King fascist President Trump in their minds. So
And they'll treat you as such.
and they could get wrapped up. They could they could make themselves freak out. They could talk themselves, up and like freak themselves out after you talk to them. You don't have to say something in particular to piss them off. They could kind of make stuff up in their head as they go along. So, like, oh, you support the president? Oh, you support a fascist regime kidnapping, citizens off the street illegally? Like,
You know what the problem with the right is? Here's what people need to do. You know those arrows they have that says right-wing troll? Mm-hmm. You need to make some. You need to then go find a random person you don't like and start holding it over them, and then they can't do anything about it. One of the things I've talked about doing, which this was like a hypothetical funny scenario. Anybody who's ever built a website knows how easy it is to update. And so I was like, what you do is, it's hypothetical, don't do it, okay? I'm saying is, don't do it. Anyway, you make a website where you make up a fake name. Jack Smith is it's a fake bio. And it'll say, everything's written out. Jack Smith's a known neo-Nazi white supremacist who likes to, he's known for infiltrating left-wing protests, instigating violence to get leftists arrested, and secretly record them to dox them, and then you make a fake bio. He was born in Alabama, blah, blah, blah. Then you put up an image and format it for the website, and you title the image img1.jpg or png. Go to one of these protests, take a picture of a random guy, some leftist, upload it to your server, img1.png. It'll automatically replace the photo on the website. Then you load the website and go, look, holy fuck, it's fucking him, it's Jack Smith. And then everyone will go, ah, and they'll just start attacking some random Antifa guy. I said, don't do that. The thing is, the right doesn't use any kind of subversive tactics to go after these leftists. I watch these videos where they have umbrellas and they're getting in front of people's cameras, or like they hold up a right-wing troll and point at them, and I'm like, why don't you do that back to them? This fucking bug. Imagine if there's like some Antifa guy causing problems and you just stand there holding right-wing troll. And then people are going to see that sign and he's going to be like, fuck off, man. And if someone comes up to you, you're going to be like, he's a fucking Trump supporter. And they'll attack him.
Mm-hmm. A few years ago, I did I don't know what to call it, infiltration, but I proposed as a leftist to kind of attend some like DSA, Democratic Socialists of America meetings in Dallas. And again, I'm brown, so like I can get into these pretty easily. And they had their after event meeting at a La Madeleine, and I go and there's an older white gentleman that's kind of complaining about how like it's a little too anti-white, and he's a white guy. It's just kind of like being normal. He's like, hey, can you guys just cool with the anti-white stuff? And I'm like, man, I'm gonna cause some trouble with this. And I said, sounds like you're mansplaining to the group. The women lost their shit on him to the point where they were screaming at him. He walked out and left. He's like, I'm done with this. and it was to this day, it's like the funniest thing.
So they didn't actually like pick it up themselves once you said it.
like-
Then they were like, oh yes, right.
The leader of this group was two women, and he's like telling them like, "Hey, cool it off with the anti-white stuff." And I'm like, "It sounds like you're mansplaining this to a bunch of women," and they just They were like,
So
he's right. And
It took a man.
Right.
It took a man to point out to the women
Oh,
that they
brown
were
man.
a brown man to point out to the women that they were being talked down to.
Yeah, it was
Nice.
awesome.
Good.
He walked out.
That really speaks highly of those women in particular.
Well, you know,
Yep. But you can't reason with retards. And I hate to say it.
nah.
So they're becoming increasingly more insane and violent. And like we mentioned with Radio Rwanda, with this guy, this Atlanta accountant trying to kill a Trump supporter, they're listen. If that accountant murdered that Trump supporter, they would be cheering for it. In fact, I'm sure on the left, they're cheering for him already, having tried. So you got to be careful, I guess. Is there anything you wanted to add to that or shout out?
No, I think the basis of everything you said came down to the one statement you said at the end. You can't reason with retards. I want to shout out, if there's any farmers out there, make sure you start planting your root vegetables now, your turnips, your beets, your carrots, so that you can harvest early spring. If you have chickens, go ahead and get an incubator so you can hatch new chickens every 21 days. And if anybody wants to look at my little YouTube channel, I mean, it's like I'm not trying to be a YouTuber, but if you want to look at it, it's Stocks Family Farm on YouTube, and I guess I'd just repost stuff on Twitter at the same name too.
Right on. Thanks for calling in, brother.
Hey, thanks for letting me call in again, and y'all have a great night.
You too. All right, and last